scrum, and it's one that they'll be looking to go to as much as possible if those points are anything to go by. Just a little bit of a delay on the ball coming back here. Burridge has it in his hands. He's there by the ref, calls his men back, no offsides from the kick, the simplest of things, as he launches it long into the night sky, and he finds the Beckett number 9, Dan Grant Adamson, who kicks very, very well, straight to touch from the safety of his 22. The linesman is still running, and he calls it just beyond the halfway line. So Doughty, another opportunity to get the line out ticking. The driving ball worked so well last time, an immediate profit of 10 metres. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit more as they go to the back. Jacko Davies calls it on, and what a throw, and what front foot ball for Bath to work with as they burst through the middle through Chris Barry. What a heavy carrier. He's played a bit of Bath A-League in his time, so he'll be used to the blades of grass of the Rec as he leads the charge, and they go right, but they zigzag left. They look to come left, it goes out the back, they're finding width, and there's no defenders out there. If the ball could have just gone to hand. Finn Murphy, the dustpan and brush, cleans up the mess, but he's grabbed immediately by Chester Duff. It comes out on the bar side, and they keep it tight. That's a carry from Kieran Verdon, the England under-18 man. He was on tour in South Africa earlier this summer. Another man with Bath Academy honours to his name. As a bit of kick chase, finds some space in the Bath backfield, but there's a little bit too much on that, and it rolls beyond the dead ball line there from Charlie Venables. A bit of bad luck, but it is going to be a scrum all the way back on the Leeds Beckett 10-metre line.
Yeah, it's time for us to get excited, I think, here. Just when we get this sort of turnover ball, it's a real opportunity for us to show what our backline can do, and sort of go backline against backline and see how well we can get on.
Well, it's a night of big fixtures in this league that is so difficult to call, and some of the results that are chiming in are wondrous ones. Nottingham Trent have defeated last year's Cup finalists Cardiff Met 24-18 at Lady Bay, a massive scalp for the men in pink, who endured such a wretched season last year, but they've really come out firing. They are a team that you beat last week, and that really shows what sort of team that you're proffering up this season. Yeah, no, I think it's sort of credit to the coaches here at Bath. They've made a real good go at pre-season, and the squad that we've got is, the depth that we've got is far better than what we've probably ever had in seasons before. So no, and against Trent last week, it wasn't easy at all. So I think again that's maybe credit to them and the improvements they've made in their squad through this year, and sort of the level that BUCS Super Rugby is going to. Well, that strength and depth is shown by the competition for the places here at Bath University at the moment, and another score that is coming in. I don't think it's quite finished yet, but Cardiff were leading Durham 24 points to 19. The new boys against undefeated Durham, but last check it was Cardiff 24, Durham 26. Cardiff have just had a drop goal at the polls, gone wide, approaching the end of the game. We'll try and get a final result for you there, but an almost upset there, but certainly one to make heads turn at Lady Bay, with Met going down to Nottingham Trent, as there is an infringement at the scrum, and Bath are on the go. It goes onto the toe, but it doesn't quite make it through the gap, and Will Partington is chasing back. Now Will Partington's a man who excites the crowd. Great feet, lots of adventure, and here he goes on a run, but he runs down a cul-de-sac, the cul-de-sac of Duff and Dixon, one that no one wants to be an inhabitant of, and they've turned it over. Okafor carries as the forwards line up now. It's a carry, they're keeping it tight, they're keeping it direct. Cade rucks out the way, and it's back to the scrummy. Grant Adamson, who finds Dixon. Dixon, that master's student, a danger man in that midfield who I spoke of. And there's Johnny Teague. Johnny Teague, a contender for man of the match last week, looks for the offload, but he just forces it, and it's a knock-on, and Bath have an opportunity to counter through the boot and through the wheels of Hugo Stiles. Look at that man go. He's chasing him down and putting pressure on. But it's manfully dealt with in the end. He has got a terrifying turn of pace, Hugo Styles.
Yeah, he's a little live wire. He played really well in the first game against Northumbria, and then again against Durham. It's been great having him back from his placement year. I think the squad's really missed him and the energy that he brings to our backline.
Yes, returning from his placement year, he's got a bit of experience at international level as well, having featured for Hong Kong at 7s and 15s. Tom Doughty told me the other week that he's somewhat of a free spirit and a bit of a character in the group.
Yeah, he's a great guy, is Hugo, and he works really hard. And then after the pitch, I think he enjoys a beer, but who doesn't, I guess.
Who doesn't indeed, Matt? Amen to that. And we take a break again for another entry. Gives us an opportunity to chat a little bit more about the freshers that we touched upon with you, that you've got a freshers Grand Prix happening down here this weekend. There was one last week at Exeter, and it's something that you're building in the southwest. Yeah, correct.
So there's within the southwest we have this Grand Prix festival. So it goes between Bristol, Exeter, ourselves, and then Hartbury. So we've got this weekend we're hosting, and then the following week is the final one where we travel to Hartbury, and we sort of look to try and get 3 or 4 or 2 to 3 squads sort of out, and then sort of similar to Exeter and Hartbury. So no, it's really good just sort of getting boys playing rugby, getting them a look at, sort of try and build them eventually towards BUCS rugby, and then if they can, this is the end goal.
Well, I can see some of those freshers in the crowd donning the blue tie of Bath, chanting their team on as they've held up the danger man, the big enforcer in the middle, Okafor, and they've won themselves a scrum, held up in the maul. And here's another opportunity for us to get a clean scrum. We haven't had one so far. It started with a penalty for Beckett, then it was followed by a free kick for Bath, which is where the quick tap and go came from. Can we get a positive result from this scrum this time as the big men pack down? The referee watching closely as they set, and the ball is in. A steady one this time, and Bath will be pleased with that as it goes to Burridge. It goes round the back again to Burridge, who launches a long one to Partington, who puts the footwork in. He's got Murphy with him, but he shows and goes, and he's dragged down by the cover defence. Here we go, Bath. They're on the charge, they've got the front foot. That man wearing the number 19 is James Catlin. Too big for the number 8 jersey, so they have to put him in the 19. As they go wide to the right, they're looking for numbers. But Beckett reorganise themselves just in the nick of time, although they look short on the left as they look to go wide again. Styles steps in using that footwork that he learned on the sevens field. He's side down again. And it's a pick and go, but Bath are really finding the gaps out wide here at the moment, and it's a big carry from Adam Thresher, who comes from Swansea University on a master's course at the moment, known as an enforcer. Well, he's enforcing himself on the game right here as Bath are inches from the line. They're driving over, and it's a try by sheer force of will. One man looked to be held up, and then who does it look like? It looks like
Jacko Davis.
The man Jacko Davies, the man with more fire in his belly than the Welsh Dragon, which is where he hails from, and he picks up yet another try in the anniversary game, having scored 2 last season. He loves it.
He absolutely does. He's a bit of he's a Bath Uni legend there. I don't think he'd ever leave if he had the choice.
He is a talismanic figure for you, though. I watch him in the games, and he's always slapping the backsides, the heads of the boys, and really getting everyone fired up. He is always up for pulling the jersey on.
Yeah, his energy that he brings to the side is class, and having him back from he signed with Bath this year, and having him back in the squad makes a real difference to the team. His experience is vital to us, and he's a great man to have on the pitch and off it as well.
Well, he's an inspiration, but also he's a real handy player, and that's just been demonstrated, scoring Bath's 2nd try of the match, which takes the score with Hugo Styles' conversion to 12 points to 3. Don't believe the hype of our score bug at the moment. You can't score just 2 points in rugby union. We're not back in the 1980s. So it's 12-3 to Bath. Leeds Beckett under the pump, quite inaccurate at the moment, but let's not forget they came back from 15 points to 3 down last week against Hartbury, so they'll know that they can come back and Bath will know that there's work to be done as they go on the charge. Alex Burridge, he's been impressive in the 10 jersey, and they've got so much purchase out on this left wing all game so far, and Murphy is working so hard to steal every yard that he can get. But that looks like a penalty to me as Chester Duff comes over the top, but the referee is lenient on him, and Bath still have the ball. Adam Thresher, that enforcer, trucking it up once more, and they go to the left. It's a show and go. Will Partington finds himself in a crowd of people, but he hot steps his way out, and the game slows a little bit as hands are the way forward. It's a one-out run from a forward from the hands of Burridge, but by drifting far from the breakdown, he finds himself isolated, and it's a penalty for Beckett, and a frustrating one at that for Bath now.
Yeah, it's slightly frustrating. I mean, it's good that we've sort of got the ambition to sort of play with the ball when we're on our own half or even inside. So it's just, I think it's just a case of making sure we look after the pill and just make sure that it's not something that we cough up so easily.
Certainly, you have to treasure possession in this game, and neither side really doing a terrific job of that at the moment, but when they have had it, Bath have been the more clinical, and Beckett look a little bit out of sorts at the moment. As I said, they came back from a deficit last week against Hartpury, so they won't be at panic stations yet, but they'll want to make this line out count, which is possibly 17 metres from the Bath try line at the moment, as another line out throw goes awry, but Steph James cleans up the mess and he makes some good inroads, and now they're on the front foot. But the Bath defence look organised, but Johan Visser, he crawls through, he keeps fighting, and it's there at the base. He finds Okafor. Okafor, massive carry, a big muscular man, and that's Visser at pace, bursting through the hole. They're 3 metres short. He looks for the ball fretfully at the base of the ruck, and it goes out the back to Steph James, out wide, who finds his second row. It's out to the wing. A little bit of footwork. Has he been able to slide in? Yes, he has. Will Lewin, known as the Mantis, puts a bit of footwork in and he slides in that left-hand corner, and that is just the response that Leeds Beckett would have wanted.
Yeah, a shame that we couldn't sort of keep them out after the missed line-out throw, but we just got outstretched slightly, so I think that's something that we might look to target sort of come second half, with the remainder of the half that we're in, and just really sort of look to hammer in on their line-out, because it's a point where we can sort of look to get the ball back.
So Kerry Wood, you can see there, the head honcho of Leeds Beckett, so passionate about his rugby, but even more so about the programme that he's building at Beckett. Barking instructions, he lives and breathes and dies with every pass and kick of the game when his Beckett boys are on the field of play. But he's got a good general in Steph James to execute his doing. And here he's going to try and close the gap to 2 points. Well, that is how you hit a conversion right from the touchline. Steph James bagging important points. And it's Bath 12, Leeds Beckett 10.
Not a bad nudge, that one.
Very handy, and as we've seen throughout the league this season, we're only in round 4, but so many games being decided by less than 7 points. These kicks, so much pressure on all of them as Bath drop out to Chester Duff as they go long, and the tackle's made, and Beckett are in their 22, so they're able to go out on the full. Looks like they're going to have a carry and get a bit of better field position as we see Steph James just drifting left to the corner of your shot, getting ready to clear the decks. Beckett will want a clean exit, the most vulnerable time for any team just after you've scored, but they go for the box. Maybe not as tight to the touchline as they would have liked, and into the hands of Will Partington, who put some footwork in, and he's made yards once again. He has looked fantastic on the counter all game so far, Partington. There's the Beckett defence rush up. There looks like there's an opportunity, but the door is slammed immediately.
Looks like quite a lot of space out wide if we can get there now.
Certainly, Bath have been looking to exploit those wide channels throughout the game. And it's a fast-paced game at that as well. Not many people in the breakdown at the moment. Quick ball testing the engines of the hard-working forwards. I mentioned in the match build-up, there's 2 quality, experienced back rows here. So it's a mouth-watering battle that they've got on. But really, the opportunity is out wide as the ball finds its way to Hugo Styles before then going back inside to Thresher. Thresher, who's been very, very influential so far in this opening half hour.
Yeah, he's been a great asset to the club this year. He's really bought into our culture, and his experience last year as captain at Swansea has been pivotal.
As we see another opportunist break, it looked like it was from Partington. They're really struggling to capture that eel of a fullback, but here we go. There's a little bit of space in the outside channel, one out the back door. It's fumbled, and it's a judge to have been knocked on there. Did he need to force it? They made the break, a bit of composure, and they still had men out there wide on the right.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking promising for us. As long as we can get into these spaces, it's just a matter of finishing them off and making sure that we get the points on the board to make it count at the 80 minutes.
Well, one thing's for sure, when Bath get the ball in their hands, they're looking really very, very dangerous. And Beckett looking a little bit uncharacteristically disorganised as well in their recovery after the tackle, struggling to get men on their feet and fill those spaces, which is something that Bath have identified, and they're doing really, really well. As we look there towards the bench, all grins and smiles at the moment, but they are 2 points down. There's a lot of firepower, a lot of finishers, as Eddie J would say, to come off the bench. Who do you like for your team, Bath, man?
It's been great. We've got like I said earlier, the depth that we've got is brilliant. So I think all the boys that are coming off the bench look sharp when they get there. But Will Hughes, he was influential for us last year. He scored quite a few tries. I think one against Durham, which was particularly notable. And having him sort of back in the squad he's one to really look out for. And then sort of coming off the bench, he might already be on or come on already, but it was Jack Kenningham. He's come as a fresher, signed from Quins, and he's been a great asset again to have on board this year.
Your squad is absolutely littered with academy players, be it from Bath, Quins, Worcester. I mean, it's a smorgasbord of real, genuine young talent. And it's quite extraordinary. Yeah,
no, we've been really fortunate to sort of get those players in, and they really buy into the culture that we've got. And although they're signed with these professional clubs and playing professional rugby, they really buy into it, and they're very grounded sort of athletes, and they make time for everyone in the club, and that's what sort of people that we want in the club, and that's the sort of the motto, the brotherhood, and being brothers for each other.
Hey, nothing's better than forging friendships at university, getting on the paddock, fighting for wins, and really having an amazing 3 years, isn't it? As we go to scrum time, and it looks messy. I don't know who's got the upper hand there, but the ball spills out, and it's Beckett's time to clean up the mess. They carry well, and this is in there for another short pick and go. The forwards, you could put a blanket over them at the moment as the ball again comes loose. The ruck hasn't been a favour to Dan Grant Adamson so far this game. We talk about treasuring possession, looking after the ball, and he's delivering some messy product for their scrum half. And that's probably hampering the backs from getting going because they're constantly on the back foot fighting fires.
Yeah, no. Sorry.
Another line out again there. Going astray. Steph James looks to put it on the toe. Fielded, I was going to say expertly, by Will Partington, but it went backwards, so he's okay. He sells another dummy. He's prone to that. Sometimes Finn Murphy has been looking like the option, but we can't begrudge the magic of Will Partington as he's gained so many yards from that counter-attacking position of the backfield. As Bath look to get a bit of continuity to their play, they shape for the box, with Ed Rimmer, the second year, sending a bomb into the night sky. But Venables cleans up the debris with no problems whatsoever. And this looks a little bit more patient from Leeds Beckett. They stick it up the jumper and they go tight. Again, they go short to Conrad Cade. That's England under 20 we mentioned before. He is fantastic in the loose. He made such an impact for England coming on in the final in France back in the summer. So there's no question of his ability with the ball in hand and his destructive nature, but it's his set piece that's a worry as Beckett finds some space out wide on the left. They find the try scorer who offloads it to Venables, and Venables is on the charge. 12 metres out. Back for more. They find Cade, that man in the middle who is crunched by two Bath defenders. And then it's back into the hands of Ryan Everly, another England student in the training squad last year. It's a big carry coming back in against the grain for Ben Dixon, that master's student. And this is a little bit more composed from Leeds Beckett. The referee puts his arm out. It looks like he spotted a penalty infringement. He gives it. The scrum half goes quickly while Bath are napping. And it is going to be the most opportunistic of tries for Dan Grant Adamson. The man they signed from Ealing caught the brothers napping. And he's turned the scoreboard around to the colour purple as Beckett lead Bath 15 points to 12.
Yeah, sharp play there from their 9. He asked for the penalty and he got it, and he went and he scored. So fair play to him. Just probably a bit of poor discipline from our boys there, but I'm sure we'll sort that out.
Well, Aaron James in the pre-match talk did bemoan the lack of discipline from Bath across the season. It's something that they wanted to address, especially at the breakdown, and unfortunately it came home to roost there. Very, very difficult to defend that when a penalty's given with the ball in the hands of the opposition scrum half. He asked for it, the ref says yes. What are you going to do?
No, there's not really much you can, to be honest, but just sort of around the park, we've just got to be mindful of the penalties that we do give, because last week against Trent it sort of kept them in the game at points, and well, Leeds Beckett sort of showing there that they can capitalise on that when we give it to them.
And capitalise to the max they have as Steph James slots another one across the poles to make the score. Bath 12, Leeds Beckett 17. He has an unblemished kicking record tonight, and I wonder, will that tell in the final reckoning when we come to the 80 minutes at the end of this game? But as it stands, Bath are within 5. Leeds Beckett, for all their inaccuracies and for all the pizzazz that Bath have offered in attack, lead the home side in the anniversary game, and they'll want their crowd to get behind them a little bit more, because there's a big 42 minutes ahead of them.
Yeah, need the boys over the other side sort of get in full voice now and sort of really get behind the boys in the last few minutes of this half.
A monstrous carry from the ex-Millfield man James Catlin, as I said, in the number 19 jersey in yellow. I think it was a printing error on the club's part.
It might have been. He's a big lad, and I'm not sure if the shirt actually fit him, the number 8 one. So
that's genuinely the reason. I did inquire about the shirt change earlier, and he doesn't fit the number 8 jersey, so they had to get a different jersey, but unfortunately only in yellow. So it's almost a target on his back now, being a different colour, but he's carried well. We'd like to see him a little bit more. He's probably been the quieter of the back row representatives so far, but he's got an opportunity to stake his claim here, though Beckett have the throw. Oh, it just evades a leaping Jacko Davies by a whisker and into the hands of Okafor, who's looking to be the steady option for Beckett now after their problems at the start of the game. As they box well to Styles, who misjudges it. It goes back and he's managed to collect it now, and he's on the charge. Here we go. Partington, smart hands to Murphy, who goes wide. Who's that in the wide channel? It's number 12, Miles Gilbert. He's in for the injured Will Butt, who's got a thumb injury, a try scorer last week. It's his debut season, playing for Bath 18s formerly, so he's a Bath man through and through. But a lost ball. Again though, he picks things up, tidies the mess. And Ed Rimmer finds his 10, Burridge, puts it on the boot, finds a bit of space. That is intelligent play to pin Beckett back, and once again put their line out under pressure. But once again, Matt, Bath are finding chances, they're finding space, acres of it, down the left wing. Yeah,
we're doing really well to get the space out here and sort of give Murph time and space on the ball. Just sort of really need to make sure we capitalise on these opportunities and the space that we're given so that come half time, especially, we're not going to be trailing, or at least can be in the right field positions.
So last time we had a line-out was in this exact position. Only a minute ago they went to 4 to Okafor. They're going to Okafor again, but Davies this time snaffles it. He read it just like the last one, but leaps that bit higher to grasp it, and now the brothers have their chance. Can they score? Can they get a crucial score before the half-time break to go into the sheds at least level, but hopefully ahead? It's tight, very, very tight carrying. Visser goes in for the steal, and he successfully executes it. What a steal from the man from South Africa. He was imperious in last week's victory against Hartbury. Had it not been for Okafor, he would have been drinking the turquoise champagne of Yoti. Of course, this BUCS Super Rugby fixture brought to you by Yoti. And Visser with a crucial turnover in the red zone as the clock ticks into the red. Remember, our clock is an approximation, though it should be reasonably on point, as Beckett keep risk to a minimum. Another carry being marshalled expertly by the try scorer, the decisive try scorer at the moment, Grant Adamson. And they're not gambling at all here. This is smart rugby as they look to squeeze the life out of this first half. Jacko Davies wanders over the top. The ref tells him no penalty. Possibly a stroke of good fortune there. As Steph James drifts into the pocket, puts boot to ball. The referee blows the whistle, and that brings to a close our first half of this anniversary game at the Rec between Bath and Leeds Beckett, with Bath trailing Leeds Beckett 12 points to 17. So Matt, Bath, they've looked incredibly dangerous when they've had the ball in hand, but they find themselves 5 points down. What do you make of that first half?
I mean, it's been a good first half. I mean, for the spectacle for the crowd, it's been cracking. But just from our point of view, I think just a few things need to tighten up. Maybe look at tightening up the scrum and just how easily we cough up the ball. I mean, the face play when we get it, we look dangerous, but just in defence, just making sure that transition from when we lose it is that little bit sharper, maybe.
Well, you started very brightly. We're seeing the Bath scores here. It started with Finn Murphy in the corner with some fantastic feet that you spoke of during the match, and then it was that talismanic figure of Jacko Davies to muscle his way over and really get Bath off to a flyer. They were 12-3 up before Beckett started to bite back, and it came in the shape of the Mantis, Will Lewin, who stole over in the left-hand corner before a chancer, a scrum halves, a cheeky scamps try under the post from Grant Adamson. Stretched out the Beckett lead to 17-12, coming from behind. We mentioned their resilience, and here the score sits on a pitch black, floodlit soaked Rec here in Bath.
Good dominant tackle, brings the boys up. Here's the chase as well. Hartbury favourites here. How's it going to bounce? Lovely footwork and a race for the corner.
Yes.
Approaching the final 15 minutes here. BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. Collier can go under the sticks here. Lovely footwork from the replacement 9. Oh, that's a fantastic try. There with hands on. For Beckett, it's been picked off. This could be the ball game. Chester Duff racing for the line to bury it for Leeds Beckett, and that is exactly what he does.
So some sensational try-scoring action there from last week in a league that is utterly unpredictable. We mentioned some of the other fixtures that are going on this evening, and there has been a big shock up in Nottingham. Nottingham Trent have defeated last year's cup finalists and would-be title challengers this season. Cardiff met 24 points to 18. Elsewhere, Durham came from behind to beat Cardiff University, who were 24 to 19 points up with moments to go. They ended up losing 24 points to 26, capturing their first bonus point, their two bonus points, a try-scoring bonus point and a losing bonus point in the process. That's certainly a tighter result than anyone would have thought, with Durham winning both their first two games. Elsewhere, Exeter, they'll be playing Northumbria in the North-South derby at Sandy Park, kicking off a bit later this evening. And another game that's in the throes is Hartpury-Loughborough. Hartpury currently leading 7 points to 0 at Gilman's ground. As we bring you back here to Bath, it's a very good game, 12 points to 17. There's plenty of opportunity to exploit inaccuracies from both sides, Matt.
Yeah, no, the line out for Beckett hasn't quite been on point, and equally then their scrum's sort of been a go-to for them, and I think that's sort of something that we can really look to sort of hone in on and really put pressure on their line out to sort of give us a bit more of a stable position in the game.
There's certainly a rivalry that exists between these two sides after last season's narrow games, the 22-all draw in the last game of the season, but also the 27-26 stolen victory in the 93rd minute of the game last year at the STV, the first fixture of BUCS Super Rugby last year. Has that been something that's grated the boys ever since?
I think it might have been a few of sort of the back of the heads of a few of them. I remember it was the first game that I went to see as a student here, and it was even after only being here for a matter of days, that went home with a little bit of a sour taste on my mouth. So I can only imagine for some of the boys that played that day, it might have been a little bit harder.
And it looks like you're going to have an opportunity to get some retribution here with the mascot challenge that is unfolding on the pitch here. So a bit of fun for all the spectators. Who have you got representing you this evening out there?
So we've got Josh Hart. He's a bit of a stalwart in the club. He's a social lad. He definitely loves a beer, and he's a great bloke.
I was thinking more the character of your mascots rather than the man within the suit. Let's not spoil the illusion identity for all the viewers at home.
Yeah, no. So that's the duck. I'm not too sure on its name, but he's bringing loads of energy to the crowd and sort of getting them up on their feet.
Excellent stuff. So while the mascot race gets underway, a little bit of mayhem to please the crowd. It gives us an opportunity to have a thank you and also to look at what our sponsors Yoti do to keep your identity secure.
Because I had already set up on the app about 3 months ago, actually, when it first came to the island.
I really like how simple it was to use.
It's the kind of convenience we want in this holidays that we live in.
Like, you don't really want to carry your passport around all night now, you're always going to have a phone on you.
The convenience to be able to go up and get my phone and just scan a thing.
It's just easy, you have all your stuff in one place.
It makes life a lot easier when you're trying to prove your age, and quite versatile as well.
So with the mascot shenanigans decided and Bath coming out on top, what is Aaron James saying to the lads in the shed at the moment to get them coming out on top when the clock strikes 80?
I think it would just be saying much the same we said up here, just sort of making sure that we don't cough up the ball quite as easily, and just sort of really look to take chances of opportunities that we get out wide, and make sure that it's converting those opportunities into points.
Do you think he'll look for a bit more continuity, a little bit more composure, and maybe trying a little bit less to maintain possession? Because we have seen it, as you said, coughed up regularly throughout the game.
Yeah, I think just he's wise with his words, and he'll know what to say and get the boys going. But I think a lot of the onus sort of falls onto them, and I think Alex Burridge is having a good game, pulling the strings and just sort of trying to make sure we play in the right places. So as long as we can do that, I see no reason why we can't get the win come the 80 minutes.
Who are those lieutenants within the brothers that Aaron leans upon? We obviously know about Tom Doughty, try machine, a fantastic individual as a man and captain. Alex Burrows, the vice-captain, but who else have they got around them that will be leading the charge and putting fire in the bellies of the boys?
So Jacko, as we've probably spoke about, he's been in the first team, he's been in the fray for a long time, and he's sort of someone that sort of sets the example for all the lads out there. Then there's the likes of Austin Hayes, probably coming off the bench. He's very experienced. He's signed with Irish, and he's someone that we sort of look to get the boys going. He brings a lot of energy when he comes on the pitch, but it falls on all of their shoulders to sort of get everyone up and get going.
Okay, and then Leeds Beckett, we've mentioned their faltering line out, but for all their errors, they're still in the lead. So what's impressed you about them, and what are the points of their attack that you need to quell?
So I think their scrum, something we've spoken about already. It's a set piece that's sort of going to be a tough one to overcome, I think, for anyone in the league this year. And I think just their sort of their grit to stay in the game is, they showed it last week against Hartbury when they came back from however many points down it was, and then they've done the same here again, sort of a 14 unanswered points. It's not how we want to go into half time, and that's credit to their efforts.
But you have a buoyant crowd here to cheer you on. These kinds of events, you know, what does that do for the club? What does that do for the university in promoting the game?
Yeah, I mean, it's brilliant. You can see it with the boys here. It's a bunch of fourth years, all the way to freshers. Everyone sort of buys into it, and it's a great occasion to get everyone from the uni, or as many people as we can here, and sort of as Caroline's sort of being sung now, you can sort of see the crowd sort of loving it. So hopefully that translates then into full voice during the game, and they can sort of spur the boys on.
Do you have a lot of close association with other sports sides here at uni? It's not too insular, the rugby club here?
No, so we like to integrate with sort of any other club we can. So it's just like the hockey club, it's another big club on campus, and we all sort of try and do our bit for each other. If it means we can help each other out and in any way we can, then we look to do that.
So good vibe down at Bath University as we see Leeds Beckett begin to emerge from the tunnel. 5 points to the good in comparison to their blue counterparts, Bath University. There is a big 40 minutes ahead for both sides. This league so tight, with only 5 points separating first place to ninth place in the league. Upsets aplenty, reputations show no deference, and Bath here looking to stake their claim for the silverware. And this game is a big one for them. The crowd begin to roar, and they've run out with a fair bit of purpose, which is good to see, isn't it?
Yeah, massively. I think a lot of energy and a lot of sort of effort will come in this second half. It always does, and hopefully the occasion the boys can rise to.
Would you say you're a first half team or a second half team?
I don't really want to give the commentators cares, to be honest, but I'd like to think that we can sort of do the full 80, and just as long as we get the result, and I can sort of go out or go home a happy man.
Excellent stuff. Okay, well, the ball is in that man, Alex Burridge's hand. He had a great first half, a particularly powerful first 20 minutes. So Bath need to try and work to get the hands on the ball for him. As the referee blows his whistle, and he goes long, as he has done for the whole game, into the hands of Chester Duff. But he's chased down, and they find themselves on the extremity of their 22, looking to build a clinical exit. Something that is spoken about in rugby so much now, that importance of playing rugby in the right areas, but it misses the touch, and it's into Partington's hand, who's been threatening throughout the game, linking up with his flank buddy Finn Murphy. But this time Beckett, probably for the first time, are wise to it, and they managed to bundle him into touch. Those flight feet from that low centre of gravity. He's like an iceberg, 90% of his weight below the waist.
Yeah, no, he's a tough old boy to move. He's not the biggest, but he holds his own. He does well.
So Conrad Cade, he'll have had a word with himself about his line-out's performance. He'll looking to get off on the right foot, and it's gone astray once more, and that's mopped up by Beck Cutting, a man I'm looking forward to seeing, the England under-20 finalist, on the ball as he storms through, and it's Chris Barry. But it's deemed that he was held in the tackle. Maybe we'll get a little replay, because if he wasn't, then that is a try-scoring opportunity that's gone begging.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with the referee on that one. Maybe not to Chris Barry's delight.
Well, again, Steph James misses his touch. That's 2 in a row, and that one will hurt a little bit more because that was from a penalty, and they would have had the throw in as Bath spread the ball right. They put it on the toe. That's controlled on the hip.
It's a different one.
By Charlie Venables. He gets away with it. I'm not quite sure on the ruling on that, but the referee says play on, and Beckett begin to build again, going to Xavier Valentine. But that's great counter-rucking from Bath. They need to get their hands out of there. No, they don't. They've won the ball back, and here's transition ball, which is the most threatening. And Ed Rivers on the charge. Ed Rivers going to score. He's opening up the scoring in this second half to send the Bath crowd into riot.
That's the perfect start for us. Just exactly what we needed.
What a bit of vision. He looked up from that transition ball. It is the most lethal ball for any defence, and he glides through, fending off Steph James. Okafor is at a match for his face. He puts the footwork on, and Charlie Venables is chasing ghosts all the way to the try line.
Yeah, perfect start to the second half for us. Fairly similar to another try scored last week, so that's 2 and 2 for him. He'll be happy.
Well, what a start for the brothers. Exactly what the doctor ordered. Dr. Aaron James, who would have put a rocket up their boys, telling them what is at stake here at the Rec, their big anniversary game. And Hugo Stiles lines one up now for an opportunity to add 2 points and take the lead. He kicks it straight and true, and in a flash, Beckett are behind, 19 points to 17. A dream start for the home team and the home crowd, who rejoice, but the job isn't finished yet. There's 36 minutes to go as the kick is contested well there, but Bath come away with it as they look to make progress through that big ball carrying Adam Thresher, the brute in the second row, one of the 2 towers they have there. And again, the adventures there. It's crisp handling all the way out to Partington, who gets outside his man. But Chester Duff once again is there watching him. He's done a great job defensively on Partington, who's looked to unleash the shackles at any opportunity. But Bath are up to the halfway line as it goes onto the boot, and there's a lot of space out the back on a great angle, but there's just not quite enough on it. And it's the try scorer clearing things up. Will Lewin sends it to touch. And Bath have started the brightest here as they find themselves on the 10-metre line of their opposition on their own throw. Tom Doughty off the field of play. Beck cutting on. He's no slouch. But surely the boys will be missing their try-scoring machine.
Yeah, Tom Doughty, he's a real leader on the pitch, and I'm sure the boys will miss him. But Beck's he's a more than able replacement to have on. So it shouldn't really change too much in how we play.
As we see a replacement for Leeds Beckett, Xavier Valentine, he's been everywhere this game for the away side, goes off the field of play as Bath fumble their throw this time. It hasn't been a night for the darts fans this evening. From a promising position as Beckett build through Johan Visser, who carries through the middle. But his support play is too enthusiastic on the clear out. They go off their feet, diving over the top. The referee is wise to it and flings his arm to the night sky for a long arm penalty, and a chance for Burridge to put this one into the corner, seal the line out and build a drive. But there's no Doughty at the back to snaffle his customary try, so maybe Beck Cutting's going to get a shot at getting some paint on him tonight.
Yeah, hopefully he can get on the score sheet. I know he's always one that loves it when he does.
Jacko Davies leading this line out along with the new guy Angus Hinton. I say new guy, he worked his way up from the third team, as I mentioned. He's new to the first team fold. They try to build the maul, but with Beckett stepping back it crumbles and they have to go to hands. Again they find Thresher, who has been really impressive in his work rate throughout the game. It looked like he'd knocked it on, but the referee says it came from a purple hand first. Johan Visser disagrees. The ref isn't going to change his mind. And talk about premier pieces of real estate to build an attack from. A scrum midfield on the 22.
Yeah, perfect field position for us here to launch something and hopefully maybe even get the bonus point off the first phase sort of strike move.
Well, yes, well spotted. We are in bonus point territory for try scoring. 3 to Bath, 2 to Leeds Beckett. But certainly the priority is securing the win before we go bragging about bonus points, I think. But as we've seen time and time again in the league this season, it's all about the tries, it's all about the attack. You don't see many teams building a score through penalties. Maybe the penalties come out when the game's getting tight and they're trying to edge the scoreline, but certainly teams are looking to dominate each other through tries, and that is nice play. They find Partington, he puts the footwork on, swats Steph James aside, but the cover defence comes across and stops him in his track. Jacko Davies, a big fumble, and he throws his head in his hands, but he shouldn't have done. He should have been looking to defend, because now Leeds Beckett go on the charge. They put a kick over the top, and there are droves of them chasing through as purple floods through the Bath ranks. Bath mop it up, but Leeds Beckett still apply the pressure. They had 4 men in purple jerseys chasing down. If that hadn't been a clear collection, then it could have been a Bath ball. Oh, and Hugo Stiles looks to go quickly. The ref calls him back because there's a little bit of afters.
Yeah, a few handbags maybe. I think someone might have said something to upset their number 4, but maybe some fruitful language from some of our boys on the touchline.
Well, it was a very low-key affair compared to the melee at Gilman's ground last week that resulted in a couple of red cards. Not something we see too often in BUCS Super Rugby, but 2 reds resulting in Connor Lloyd's suspension this evening. Not that his understudy has shown himself up. Grant Adamson with that try in the first half, and he's been at the heart of a lot of the good things that Beckett have been doing this evening.
Yeah, no, he's played well, to be fair to him, and I think Beckett could be missing their captain quite badly, but he's stepped up well, and he's looking like he's doing a good job for them.
Well, having given a spiel that Abraham Lincoln would be happy about players going for tries and not for penalties, Steph James opts for the poles, and Leeds Beckett are going to try and slot this one through to take their score to 20 and lead Bath by a point. His kicking has been faultless this evening. He's clearly brimming with confidence, and so he should be, striking the ball well with radar-like accuracy. But this one has a bit of pressure. Pressure, what pressure. With the home faithful baying for blood in his ears on that right touchline, Steph James serenely strokes the ball across the uprights to take the lead, 20 points to 19. "50 minutes played, 30 minutes remaining, the ball back in Burridge's hand. Bath won't panic just yet, they're looking very good, but Beckett are hanging in there. More than just hanging in there, leading at the moment by that solitary point as they continue with their strategy of kicking out of their danger areas and putting the pressure, the onus on Bath to attack. And they do so with Catlin, who bursts a hole, and they go down that favoured left-hand side once more. The numbers, the purple numbers, seem to be populating that flank a little bit more from a defensive point of view. There's less holes there, and they seem to be a little better organised as Burridge goes for the boot, but it's straight into the mitts of Chester Duff, who then finds his fullback Charlie Venables, and he's now on the charge. Oh, out the back door, Sonny Bill style to Johan Visser, who can't handle the pill. It then goes to Bath, who then knock it on, and Beckett knock it on again. And it's a messy little period after a bit of magic from the fullback that almost opened up the brothers.
Yeah, it's all going on there. Just not too sure really what's happening, but I think both sides probably just want to maybe calm things down now and sort of try and get a foothold and really build and look to sort of get a foothold in this game now.
Well, the relief is that it will be a Bath put-in for the home side. Sorry, I tell a lie, it's a Beckett put-in. Johan Visser's fumble adjudged to not be a knock on. That one went back. So again, Beckett with the scrum. But first, after a couple of resets, both sets of front rows are by and large the same, bar Beck cutting and the replacement for Xavier Valentine. So things shouldn't be a problem for them, but the ref takes his time speaking to both sets of front rows. They construct each scrum, each log ahead to go full impact from the crouch, bind, set, and the ball's in. But Bath turn the screw and mince the Beckett scrum. And the referee calls for a reset, a big let-off for Beckett there. Bath powerful, splintering the Beckett scrum there. Do you feel aggrieved there, Matt?
Maybe slightly, but it's always sort of difficult being the one out there in the middle. So, and if no ref, no game, I suppose. So we'll leave him with that one.
That is incredibly diplomatic of you. You should write posters for the RFU to go in clubhouses around the country. But as reset, we do have the referee being firm with both sets of forwards. We don't want to be wasting our time resetting scrums. And I can imagine if there's any more tomfoolery, they'll be straight to a penalty or free kick in favour of one of the sides. Look at that face of exasperation on the ref. He's absolutely sick to the back teeth of this.
Maybe he's enjoying the rest too.
Well, he's certainly getting fed up of these big lumps not being able to form a scrum. I mean, this is what these guys are here for. They should be able to do it with their eyes closed.
I know, day in, day out, but obviously not.
Well, the referee losing patience, and so too we, because we want to see the ball in the hands of the backs, who've really thrown everything at each other this evening and shown no fear in putting a bit of air on it. It's a clean hook, but it spurts out the back, and Beckett go right, they go wide. Chester Duff's lurking there, the ball doesn't get to him, he's in at the breakdown to do the clear out. It's there, they find their big ball carrier Okafor, who hops through one tackle before being partially held up. The referee calls the tackle to be completed as Bath streams through, and there's a knock on and it's a turnover. Bath have the ball. Kieran Verdon now charging on, goes to Burridge, who finds Finn Murphy, but Chester Duff reads it like a clairvoyant and he muscles him into touch, and probably a little bit of a missed opportunity for the brothers there. They've been so good from the transition ball. They went down that favoured left-hand side, but it looks like that Beckett have become wise to it.
Yeah, it was a good turnover from, I think it was Chris Barry there, but just like you say, we couldn't really capitalise on it. I think maybe Beckett have wised up to us going down that left-hand side and maybe look to target that now as not an area of weakness for us, but just if somebody's really going to exploit them, they've sort of matched to it.
Well, things have gone a little bit quiet here in this BUCS Super Rugby fixture, brought to you by Yoti. A bit of a scrappy period of the game, a lot of errors, and we'd like to see a bit of consistency approaching this pivotal last 25 minutes. And I'm rewarded with another messy line-out. It looked to have gone forward off a Beckett hand, but the referee lets it go, and they are now trying to build a bit of an attack as it goes out the back door. And here is a danger man, someone that I've been looking forward to see, Dante van der Merwe, an impact sub on the wing, who gave us a glimpse of his devastating running only last week against Hartbury. The former Morley RFC man is lethal down the left wing, so I'm told by Kerry Wood, so watch out for him. We're going to be looking forward to seeing Beckett endeavour to get his hands on the ball as they look for an inside ball. It goes behind, but he managed to keep a hold of things, but they lose 10 yards in the process. There's no one for Steph James to pass to, so he puts it on the boot into the backfield that's been so expertly marshalled all game by Bath. Will Partington on the break, he finds Hugo Stiles. Now this is a danger man, he shows it inside, but what a cover tackle from Dan Grant Adamson. He flew across and clattered the legs of Hugo Stiles, who was looking to tiptoe down that right wing. He had the ball in his right hand, again looking for an offload to Partington, who was in support, but neither of them stood a chance with a torpedo coming in from Dan Grant Adamson. What a tackle.
Yeah, good tackle there from the number 9. I think Hugo did quite well, probably to hang on to the ball. If it didn't go to hand, there's quite a lot of space in behind, so again, wise play, and then we can look to pressure this line out.
Beckett take the line out, something I've not had the luxury of being able to say many times during this commentary, as they build a snake so long that the box kick is possible for their young number 9, who again finds Partington, and there's plenty of space out left if Partington wants to pass, but no, he'd like to step his way through himself. He's through the middle, he's finally tackled, and Bath are just between the 10 and the 22 as it goes to hands again. It's out to their outside centre, Alex Nisbet, a man we haven't seen too much. He also has featured for Hong Kong at under 20 level. And it's into the forwards again. A lot of the Beckett defence have been sucked in. They go out the back door. It just needs to go. Hands will do it. It's a sloppy one. It's a great pickup from Partington, who then again puts feet on again. Chris Barry's on the ball, who puts the ball inside and finds the replacement, Jack Cunningham, to send the wreck into raptures.
Yeah, great try there from the boys. Not too sure why it didn't go down first time, but hey, as long as we've scored, and that's the bonus point now as well, I'm just happy about that.
A sensational pickup right off the bootlaces from Partington. Like every good number 7, Chris Barry was in support, and then a man you mentioned to us, the Queen's Academy senior star, a fresher here at Bath, has come off the bench and made an immediate impact.
Yeah, a lot of the boys I think making quite a few changes now, and I think that energy that they're bringing is really starting to show, and hopefully it's something we can build and really look to sort of stretch this lead now.
Well, it's been a draining game, a very, very fast-paced game. Both scrum halves working their forwards to the tethers as Hugo Stiles tees one up to stretch this lead to 6. This could be crucial. And he bisects the post, and in the process takes the score to Bath 26, Leeds Beckett 20 in this round 4 BUCS Super Rugby fixture, brought to you by UOT. As the clock ticks towards 60, we enter the final quarter of the game, and Bath, can they see this game out? Time and time again against Trent last week, Trent picked back and put them under pressure. They kept the nerves jangling. Bath will want to be clinical about this, but there's plenty of rugby to play as Beckett counter attacking both Cutting and Austin Hay, 2 of the front row replacements who've come on. We've had a swathe of replacements come on, so there'll be fresh energy, fresh ambition all over the park for both sets of teams. And it's a penalty to Leeds Beckett. This is an opportunity they'll look to capitalise on, because they haven't played much rugby in the Bath half so far this 40. No,
we've managed to hold them out quite well, but this sort of gives them good field position, but let's see how their line-up goes. It's been a bit of a downfall for them this evening.
It has been such a thorn in their side so far in this game. Usually their go-to ball, something they built their reputation on. I really can't figure out what's happened. It's a very settled team, very experienced operators in there, and it's been such a thorn in their side throughout the game. However, they remain within a score. 26-20 the score at the moment as they go safe. They go to the front and they build one of those famous purple mauls. But Bath They've been so good in the tight. They get no purchase, so they go to the back line, and there's the man I mentioned who came on, Dante van der Merwe, making an immediate impact, bursting through the middle, and Steph James goes wide to Harry Robinson, one of the stalwarts of this Beckett side, and he comes inside to find Okafor again, who's stationary, but he has the strength to bounce the first one. But he's eventually dragged down, and that ball goes behind us. The forward overruns it. It's transition ball. The referee says play on. It goes back to the pocket. Burger spotted some pace. He puts the banana on the ball, which is fielded there, and it's taken into touch.
Good tackle there from Will Hughes. I think he just managed to drag his foot out, so it gives us some good field position to sort of build on and hopefully make our way up the pitch.
Yes, indeed. A little bit of a loose period of play there, pinballing around. Beckett were looking good for a period. They finally got a little bit of ball and they were starting to use it, but it looked like it was overrun by the South African Sam Theron, a man who's used to the big occasion, having featured for the University of Cape Town in their 2016 Varsity Cup. Overrunning the pass, leading to that knock-on, and Bath had the opportunity to counter, but once again it was loose, and we're going to be having a line out very close to the halfway line, but it's Bath ball. Another short break here at the Rec in this BUCS Super Rugby match, brought to you by Yoti. It's for a Bath injury, possibly from that Theron carry that he just missed that led to the knock-on. Gives a chance to have a chat about the impact that these subs have made for both sides since they've come on. They've really added a fresh bit of spark to proceedings.
Yeah, fair play to both of those, both sets of subs. They've really sort of sparked the game to life. That first 10 minutes sort of after half time, apart from the Ed Rimmer try, just sort of fizzled out a little bit, but they've sort of brought the game back to life, and hopefully the last sort of 15-20 minutes the Bath boys can hold out, and even then we've still got a couple more boys to come on, I believe, so hopefully they can inject some energy and some pace into this game.
Is it a concern for you that you've had so much territorial dominance, but yet you still only lead by 6 points at this stage of the game?
I mean, we can look at it like both ways. It's a shame that we haven't taken the opportunities and sort of advantage of the territory that we've had, but equally it's positive and it's promising that we're getting into those positions on the pitch. We're the ones that are playing with the ball at the moment, and we're sort of our own worst enemies and not finishing those off. So I think it's Beckett who might be playing slight catch-up at the moment, and that's ominous for us.
Well, Bath have certainly got a bit of wind in their sails at the moment as the line out is crisply taken at the tail, and they start to get a bit of front foot momentum, something that we haven't seen an awful lot in this game due to maybe a few set piece inaccuracies. But now Bath have a chance to build, and they look like they're a very settled team at the moment. They know that this game is within their grasp, and they know that if they keep to their processes, they play some structure and they're clinical, that they can come away with 5 points from this game. As Austin Hay, the replacement, comes on and bursts through a couple of tackles, he'll be disappointed to be on the bench, and he'll have a point to prove coming off it. As it goes again to Catlin, the big man is carried hard all evening. Difficult to bring down. Chris Barry now takes a carry. We saw him in his support play just a moment ago, and there's someone running at pace on a line, and it's Will Partington again. He's someone that we have mentioned incessantly throughout this game. Not often on a short line going into heavy traffic, but he's willing to put his hand up. As Austin Hay has another carry, and now they go wide again. Off to the left wing we go, but a little bit of indecision there in the midfield leads to your man Alex Nisbet spilling the ball, and again disappointing from a promising position.
Yeah, I think that's just been our slight downfall this evening. Just we get ourselves into those positions. I think just having the patience when we're there to make sure we look after the ball and and don't give it up as easily. But it's promising that we can look after the ball for that long, and just got to make sure we sort of convert that.
What would you say is the aspiration for this Bath side this season?
I think sort of after finishing sort of mid-table, just below mid-table the past couple of years, and then making the knockout stages, to get to the semi-final both year, that's been a real bonus for us. But I think obviously this year aspirations have to be to try and get to Twickenham, but I know the lads are sort of very grounded at the moment and just taking it week by week. As cliche as it is, I think that's the only way you can deal with it in this league. You can't ever look too far ahead.
And that's no doubt due to the competitiveness of the league as well. It's a cliche that's been repeated again and again and again, but it rings so true to this league that there is no easy game. You don't look down the fixture list and think, well, do you know what, that's 4 points there, that's a win there. Every team, you don't really know what you're going to come up against.
No, of course. I mean, Trent last year, they came to us and we gave them good game, and it was a big win for us last year. And then we probably expected much of the same last week, and they gave us a real fight and sort of took it right till the end. And they're almost unfortunate not to go away with a win themselves. So I think it's credit to the advancements that's going in the university game, and credit to BUCS Super Rugby.
Well, as we chat there, the coach killer of the night for Kerry Wood. The line out malfunctions once again, and Bath have the opportunity to put themselves back into Beckett territory, the place that they love to express themselves. And it's a box up from Ed Rimmer. He's probably missing a bit of distance on that, but it's not claimed cleanly until it's finally grasped by one of the men in purple. Although they're a long way back from where that initial line out took place. And you have to wonder why they continue to kick to the touchlines, even if it is a penalty, because at the moment it might as well be Bath ball every time.
I think Leeds are struggling there. Their 9 looks like he's gone down. So I think it's probably why they sort of struggled to string anything together there. But Will P's off on one of his matey runs again.
Will P. He's certainly not shy of putting a bit of work in on a game. And one thing that's really impressing me about Bath is their handling out and their back line. We say that they're exploiting space out there on the left, but it's purely because of the crispness of the hands, as Beckett show us a little bit about what they've got with his counter-attack play. And Okafor isn't tackled, he squirms free, and he's rampaging towards the line. He's finally dragged down, and if they can keep their composure, there's men out to the left, and there's try-scoring opportunities as it goes wide. He steps on the outside, a little show and go. Is he going to make it? He's short. Offloads. They're 2 meters out. They're 2 meters out. It looked all for money that they were going to score there. That drifting line from Tom Williams. And Johan Visser, has he knocked it on? Oh, he's going to be kicking himself about that. The ever dependable Johan Visser had the opportunity to finish off a silky Jerry Guscott-esque run from Tom Williams, the number 13. But Visser, with the line begging, fluffs his lines, and that is a huge let-off for Bath.
Yeah, huge credit to Will Hughes there, sort of getting back across and making the tackle. Sort of look for all money that the number 13s that Tom Williams was going over in the corner. So I think we've managed to escape with that one. So hopefully clear our lines now and relieve some of the pressure.
Well, he scored a game-changing try after last week's double red card. He was the support act for Chester Duff, catching the ball after a very fortuitous bounce, and it looked like he was going to have an influence on what way the scoreline was going to be going again here tonight. A sensational little arc on there that seduced both defenders, but neither could get their hands on him until the last gasp. But just in time, they managed to drag him down a metre short before Johan Visser, a man who you'd bet your house on scoring, knocks the ball on the 5 metre line, which presents us with this scrum. Bath still under pressure, but still with possession to clear their lines to exit with only 9 minutes to go. We're in for a typical grandstand finish, I think, Matt.
Yeah, 10th end. It was against Durham and Northumbria earlier this year, and against Trent. So never easy viewing watching these boys, but the boys in the stand sort of they hang around, and well, you can hear them now in full voice.
What are your feelings on that Durham game? Because it's a game that Tom Doughty and certainly Aaron James felt you could have won, and you let yourself slip a bit too far behind, and your push for victory was a little too late.
Oh yeah, massively. I mean, I think you can't really give any side this year sort of a 17-0 lead in the first sort of 20 minutes, and I think from that point we're always playing catch up, and you can't, like I say already, you can't give any team that sort of lead.
Well, in that time, the Beckett scrum obliterate Bath, and Catlin did so well to pick it up off the base and get a bit of front foot ball, but keen to make amends for that knock on, enter Johnny Teague. Johnny Teague, Johan Visser, who makes the turnover like a limpet, like a barnacle on the bottom of a boat, immovable object. And Beckett have a scrum now in prime attacking position. Not much Bath could have done about that. Catlin did very well to gather the ball and get any sort of momentum. But Johan Visser, when he's in the mood for a turnover, there's no budging him. Grant Adamson, the marshal, with the ball at his hands, will be demanding more of the same from his 8 after that last scrum. Crushed Bath, and they look to have a nudge on. The ball is at the back, they don't keep it in, and it goes to the backs, and there's a fine line through the centre from that man Tom Williams. Adamson calls his forwards round, and there's a new man, Jide Ajayi, straight into the fray as they build. There's a bit more patience and a bit more composure. Visser, that low slung nugget, how it goes for a scramble, and it's to the back of the breakdown. Who's that? That's the new man that I mentioned just there. He has a rumble, and it looks like it's going to go wide to Adamson. Steph James throws a dummy, steps back inside, but he's caught by his bootlaces, and it's a pick up and go from another replacement, Hayden Thompson-Green. The ex-Sedbergh man looks like he may have muscled his way over, and that's going to change the game.
Yeah, not quite sure how he squeezed over there, but fair play to him. He's found his way to the line.
It was consistent wrestling all the way to the line. It looked like they got him down, but he kept pumping and pumping with his piston legs and managed to scramble his way over to take the score to Bath 26, Leeds Beckett 25. There's a kick to come. This could change everything. He's been impeccable all evening from the tee, and the script does not change for that crucial conversion that takes the score to Bath Uni 26, Leeds Beckett 27. We have 5 minutes remaining on the clock and an absolute nerve shredder ahead of us.
Yeah, needless to say, I think it's going to be a tense finish in this one, and just sort of praying that the boys can get the job done.
Burridge goes long, as has been his custom. They need the chase to be good. They want to pin Beckett back in this danger area. So they go for a bit of a wiper of a clearance, and that's nice stuff from Beckett. They're up to the halfway line. Styles can't get there quick enough to take the quick throw in. And this is a time of the game where cool heads win matches. This applies to both teams. Bath in attack, Beckett in defence. It's a Mexican standoff. Who's going to blink first? Tom Doughty, as you can see, back on. In times of need, you need your inspirational captain, and he goes to the try scorer and he finds him. moves himself to the back of that well-constructed, thin driving maul. He's in his favoured position with the joystick at the back of the armchair, directing traffic. He's got a snowplow of a team up ahead of him. The referee indicates that there's been one stoppage. Still has a bit of momentum. He offers it to the back to the other try scorer, Rimmer, who slings it wide, and now it's going to the hands. Great ball, but it's into nowhere. It's a bounce pass to Finn Murphy, who puts the footwork on. Going back inside, he's well tended to by the cover defence. And now Bath have got a bit of rhythm. They go to centre field, crisscrossing, they continue to go right. Burridge on the ball again, out the back to Styles. He's got the footwork, he puts it on, but he spills the ball in the challenge. Steph James with the hit. The referee umming and ahhing over the knock-on. He's decided it isn't a knock-on, it's gone back maybe off Steph James. And Bath now, they have to regather the ground that they've just lost from that intervention from the Beckett number 10. But Burridge is back on the ball, and they've definitely got room out here. Jacko Davies, Austin Hay, he's not the man you want to find on the wing, but he does a job of steamrolling his opposite man as Burridge then puts his hand up for a carry. Into the centre, Bath looking excellent here, and Beckett are calling frantically for men to come and help them out on the flanks as it goes to Will Partington, who is taken down crucially. But Bath still looking dangerous. They've got the ball, they're very well organised, they know what they're doing. Back to the try scorer, that Quins Academy player who's brought a real energy onto the field of play as he's come. And it goes out to another replacement, number 23, Will Hughes, England student, sevens last year. His flight of foot, can he create anything as it goes out the back? But all too late, because Will Partington has been taken into touch. And on that, it's time to start talking man of the match, Matt.
Well, I'm not too sure at the moment. I mean, the game can still go either way. I think both sides have had a good performance. I'd say the 9 from Leeds Beckett. Is it Dan? Or I don't even want to try. I'm sorry. Let me get there.
Unfortunately, Matt, I'm going to have to put you on the spot. If there's one thing that our broadcast is famous for, it's awarding man of the matches in tight games that don't necessarily go to the winning team. But we're 2 minutes from the end, 1 minute 30 from the end. You need to make the call.
I'd say Dan, like I've said, he's had a great game from 9, but I think that 10, he's kicked all the points, and it seems like that could be the difference come the end of the game. So I'd say Stephen James probably Leeds Beckett 10 man of the match. So
Stephen James, the club captain of Leeds Beckett, the man who has not missed a jot from the tee all evening. He's marshalled his backline around, he's bossed his forwards into position. Number 10 for Leeds Beckett, Stephen James, is our Yoti man of the match. But this movie isn't over. Do we have an ending that no one could have anticipated as Bath go on the attack once more? Austin Hay, big bald Austin Hay, you can't miss him in the middle, and his legs are pumping the replacement. He's full of beans, but the ball spilled out illegally, it's deemed, and that is massive.
Not sure how long's left, but
Stephen James as the man of the match. Graphic comes up, he puts his head in his hands, he cannot believe that the penalty has gone against him. And his team, as we tick towards 80 minutes, remember, our clock is not completely accurate. So whether this is the last kick of the match or not, we're not sure. But it's certainly the most crucial kick of the match. And it rests on the shoulders of the Bath flyer, number 11, Hugo Styles. The man returning from the year placement who's made such a big impact throughout the season with his attacking prowess, has the opportunity to kick Bath to glory. And he splits the post to the roar of the Bath faithful. There is still time for the kickoff, so the job is not done. But Bath lead Beckett 29 points to 27.
just need to hold out now and make sure we don't cough this ball up and give Leeds Beckett the possession. Never like to make it easy viewing these boys out here for us.
You certainly do not. Toby Francis probably coming over to inquire with the referee how long they have, what the status is on the clock. Steph James puts one up high and they're all chasing it. There's tons of pressure on Bath and they've spilt it forward. This game is not done and dusted yet as they look to hold the man up. But it's advantage to Beckett. It was spilt forward in that kickoff reception. And Johnny Teague once again barreling his way forward. He's not shy of work by any stretch of the imagination. The referee no longer has his hand out. Is he still playing advantage? It's another knock on from Beckett under the pressure of the blue blanket of the brothers. And he blows the final whistle to send the wreck mad. In the most dramatic of finishes in a game that ebbed and flowed throughout, when it felt that the away team had come to spoil the Bath party once more, it all came down to a Hugo Styles kick in front of the sticks to slot the brothers to their second victory of the season, breaking Beckett hearts and claiming the anniversary game crown. 29 points to 27 in this BUCS Super Rugby fixture brought to you by Yoti. What a game.
Yeah, thank God for that. I think 10's finish and probably a lot of nervous lads out there come the end, but absolutely chuffed for the lads to pull through and get the win and sort of build on towards next week.
What a fantastic advert for the league, but what a result for you guys, Bath. Coming up against a top team, a highly regarded team, and not crumbling in the face of adversity. You were up against it, but you stayed composed and you fought your way to that penalty. You put the pressure on them and that's what yielded the pen. Yeah, no, did really well come the last 5 minutes there, and to win the penalty and then to get the kick and goal. It's a perfect way to finish what's been a great occasion here at the Rec, and I'm sure that a lot of the boys will be out this evening, some sore heads in the morning. A great occasion and a magnificent night out, no doubt, in Bath ahead. So let's have a look at those scores which define the game. We were 12-17 at half time. And that came from some of these tries that we saw in the first half. First from Finn Murphy, a little bit of fancy footwork after being put in by Will Partington, who I'm surprised he didn't choose as man of the match because his influence was mighty throughout the game. Before turning to the piano movers up front, Jacko Davies with a customary anniversary game try and a big celebration as always, pumping the chest, pumping the badge, before Beckett began to make their way back in. First through Will Lewin, down the left wing, and then it was the opportunism of Grant Adamson in for the captain, Connor Lloyd, staking a claim for the number 9 jersey for games ahead, before we found ourselves in the second half, and it's his counterpart Ed Rimmer with a unbelievable try from the halfway line, from the turnover, showing, going, putting the afterburners on and really lighting the stadium up, before some fantastic offloading work freed up the opportunity for replacement Jack Kenningham to score what many thought would be the decisive try, but that wasn't to be, because Beckett bit back with one more try of their own from their replacement number 19, Hayden Thompson Green, before Hugo Styles stepped up for glory with a penalty through the posts, edging this one. This BUCS Super Rugby fixture brought to you by Yoti, 29-17. As we see pictures of Bath about to hoist the trophy aloft from their captain, Tom Doughty. It's going to be a wild night of celebrations for the brothers, as Austin Hayes shows you exactly what's going to be happening with that trophy. But let's catch up with some footage and some try-lights of last week in round 3.
Yeah, it's a great break from Robbie there, and good support from Dwayne, but in my opinion, he's just got to hold on to that.
That's been turned over. This could be the score. Caven over the line. The referee wants a conversation, but Elias Caven could have got the first try of the match. And he's given it. Beckett
lovely shoulder ball there.
Oh, what a shot. That is a monster. Well, that's one way to stop them breaking the line. Ben Dixon on the end of one there.
Tackle! Lovely!
Oh, it's been
great
turned
turnover. That's what Harry Holland will give you. Good dominant tackle, brings the boys up.
Here's the chase as well. Harbury favourites here. How's it going to bounce? Lovely footwork and a race for the corner.
Yes.
Jot it down. Jack Reeves. Leeds Beckett looking to get back into this one. Gathered well by Adrian Wadden. Big Canadian second rower.
Away! 8 away, change the volume.
This time, it's Beckett's chance to have a go at the line. The Maul just starting to gather momentum.
And they've got the penalty advantage now.
6 around 9.
Angus Southern sent on his way. Leeds Beckett just a couple of metres short. In search of their first try of the evening. It's close. There are Harbury players there. The ball's down. The try's awarded. And Johan Visser opens his account. Harbury 15, Leeds Beckett 8. Okafor. Beckett take the ball right, dummy from the scrum half, and Connor Lloyd, the captain, goes under the sticks.
Well, we've got a hell of a game on our hands now. Well, fair play to Leeds.
Look at Okafor there.
Fantastic work from Okafor there. As well from him, talking to the referee, telling him, am I legal, am I legal? Talking to the ref, that's really good work from him there.
Well, a few,
enjoying a bit of
few big trucks smiling at each other there. Well, we don't see this very often in BUCS Super Rugby. All the while, Toby Francis, the Beckett 6, is getting some medical attention. Well, Jordan Liney and Connor Lloyd, the two Welshmen, have been given their marching orders.
Thank you.
And now the scrum comes nothing more than a way to get backs on backs and restart the game. Oh, and Leeds Beckett have responded. The ball has bounced their way. It's a race for the corner. The tackle comes in, but it's no good. Tom Williams puts Leeds Beckett into the lead.
Yeah, that's a great try for Leeds, and
Roll red!
Approaching the final 15 minutes here. BUCS Super Rugby presented by Yoti. Collier can go under the sticks here. Lovely footwork for the replacement 9. Oh, that's a fantastic try.
yeah, Collier with some fantastic feet there.
Harry Collier came on to replace the red-carded Connor Lloyd, and he's made an impression on this match outside the 22. Steps off the left foot. And that's a bonus point for Beckett. Again, spotted the two big forwards there. Knew he had the pace. Got inside his opposite number, Joe Margetts. It's Beckett 27, Harbury 18. Had him back in there with hands on. For Beckett, it's been picked off. This could be the ball game. Chester Duff racing for the line to bury it for Leeds Beckett, and that is exactly what he does.
Yeah, that's outstanding work from Chester Duff there, and I think we can say could be the game there for Leeds.
Leeds Beckett 34, Harbury 18. Harbury pushing and pushing, but Chester Duff, he's had an excellent game actually. He's made meters all day, but it's so flat here. He reads it, snaffles it, and then just pins his ears back. That is a strong finish from the right winger.
Yeah, he's read that very well.
Oh, lovely hands from Harbury.
Great play.
And Robbie Smith gets the try. Won't be enough for a bonus point.
Nice move there from Hartbury, and good to see Robbie Smith get on the score sheet.
Well, there's still time in this, you know.
Lovely little pull back there from Joe Margetts, and a great line there from Robbie Smith.
Hartbury throwing caution to the wind. The clock in the stadium now down to 0. Oh, it's gone forward. And that is full time. The referee's seen enough. And Leeds Beckett get off the mark. Full time here, BUCS Super Rugby, presented by Yoti. And it is a bonus point win at Hartbury for Leeds Beckett. 34-25, the full-time score. There's the man of the match right in the middle of your shot there, John Okafor. What an 80 minutes he had. Leeds Beckett 34, Hartbury 25.
So some wonderful tries there from last week. I'm sure there's going to be a whole host of more fantastic scores coming after this week's action in round 4. And while you can hear the celebrations to the side of me, there's also the raw emotions from a gut-wrenching loss there, Steph.
Yeah, it's tough to take. We were good in patches, but I think over the whole 80 minutes, I don't think we were good enough to win the game, and I probably don't deserve it. So, yeah, every credit goes to Bath, I think.
You look absolutely dejected. Your head was in your hands when that penalty was given at the end. Was that through anger at your own team, or do you think the decision shouldn't have been given?
No, I think we brought it on ourselves, to be honest. Probably got to be quicker to roll away from the breakdown. Boys have given everything for 75 minutes, and yeah, we've just been painted. It's one of them things. Can go either way, but unfortunately, it's just gone against us this time.
Really unusually, your set piece let you down terribly tonight with the line out. It stopped you getting a foothold in the game, really.
Yeah, that's probably one thing that's been the most disappointing about tonight's game. We're usually so good in the set piece area. Our scrum functioned quite well, but yeah, our line out probably needs a bit of work going into next week, I think.
Can you take a bit of heart though that your set piece malfunctioned as it did, and you maybe didn't play as well as you would like to see you guys play, and you still only lost by a last kick in the game?
Yeah, that gives us a lot of confidence, I think, going forward. We didn't have a set piece all game, but we still managed to only lose by a point against a very good Bath side. So yeah, we'll take a lot of positives from that as well.
Yeah, so you pick yourself back up and you'll be ready for a hit out next week.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what Super Rugby's all about, eh?
That is what Super Rugby's all about. Right, this is going to be bittersweet, but you are the man of the match. I don't have the enormous bottle of turquoise champagne from Yoti, but I give you a handshake and I owe you one, all right? Well played, Steph. Thanks for coming on. Right, we got the Bath captain, Tom Doughty here. Tom Doughty, and we'll get Matt on as well, who is our co-comms guest of the evening, wearing the colours of the winning team. Tom, you must be absolutely stoked.
Just so immensely proud of the boys. We said that we were going to stick in there for 80 minutes and just stick to all our messages, and we did exactly that, and we came out on top, so immensely proud.
The one thing that really impressed us right at the end was how composed and how you stuck to your structure and you believed in the way that you played to grind out that penalty at the end.
Yeah, we said before the game that on big occasions like this, the team that comes out on top is the team that managed to stay cool when under pressure, and we did exactly that. And just credit to the coaches and all the boys for putting in a lot of hard work this week, because they deserve this win.
Where does this leave Bath Uni Rugby for the season ahead?
Well, we said after we get our first win, after one win comes a lot more, so hopefully this is the start of something good.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's it.
And what's the aspiration? I asked Matt and he was very diplomatic about it, but what do you want this season? What do you want to get?
Well, we said that this season we'd improve from last season, and that means winning the semi-final and getting to Twickenham, so that's our end goal. But we didn't do well in the table in the league last year. We want to do a lot better, and this is the start of that, so just working towards that.
We remarked as well in the commentary that your style of play is a lot more expansive this season. It's less forward dominant. Some of the handling out in the back line was sublime.
It's amazing when you've got boys like Will Parkington and Hugo Stiles in your team. Like they're just what's the word? Just like elusive. They're just elusive, and it's like it's good because they know when to switch it on and when to switch it off, and we can go back and we can get to our structure. Or if they see something, they'll have a crack. So it's good to have them in the team.
And on a personal note, no try tonight. Are you losing your magic touch?
Absolutely not. But the boys won, so that's all that counts.
That's all that counts. Well done. I'll let you get off to the celebrations because they're looking pretty wild out there. Matt, come in and join me. So Matt who was with me on co-coms this evening. Matt, social media guru, Freshers manager and coach. What a time to be a brother.
Yeah, no, it's a really good time. Club's going places, and it's just great to be involved, to be honest.
Yeah, and then tonight, the club can only build from here. A big win on the big occasion. The one against Trent, it's really promising for the club.
Yeah, I mean, 2 wins on the bounce. I think we've got Exeter next week, so that's going to be a big one. They're always sort of a bit of a demon in our fixture list. So if we can get the win there next week, then that'll be huge for the club. But like I think Doubt has already said, it's just about building towards sort of trying to build on last year and make sure that we can get to Twickenham this year.
Yeah, but with wins like this, it's a case of bring it on, surely.
I guess so. So just sort of invite anyone on and anyone, and just try and get as best we can. And the wins like this tonight, they're huge. So.
Okay, I can see from your hungry eyes you're desperate to get involved in the celebration. So thank you very much for joining us tonight. It's great having you up on Co-Coms.
Cheers. Thank you.
And from me, guys, that just about wraps things up. So on the big night at the Rec, Bath sunk Leeds Beckett in another extraordinary BUCS Super Rugby fixture brought to you by Yoti. The action's going to be coming thick and fast, and we're going to be back with more next Wednesday. In an unpredictable league, the only way to know who's going to win is by watching and tuning into us. So until next week, good night.